Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for coming today to the Global Harmonization. I'm gonna just move this mic a little bit, get set to rolling. If this is your first time watching, this is practice I share each and every day at 7:30 Central Time. And been doing it for about 8 months now. So it's been pretty neat to see who comes along and getting feedback from people, how it's impacted their lives. And I know what it does for myself personally. So I do this practice regardless or something similar. And I just formalized it to be able to make a time to share it with everybody that comes along and is part of it. So no matter what state of mind, what state of emotion, and even physically where you're feeling, expect at the end of this to feel full of love, feel full of energy, feel like a spirit of giving coming through you. That's what this is all about, is getting into that state of infinite capacity, of courage, of freedom, of, we say gratitude. That word comes from gratis, which is free. So gratitude, like complete fullness and being full in the capacity to give. That's really the idea behind the global harmonization, is to bring everybody into this state of realizing how much abundance is actually always around them at any given moment. And there is only right here and right now. So as we draw in, we've had some holidays, depending on if you celebrate certain religions or whatever, or even locations, all kinds of things happening this time of year. Talked a little about the winter solstice the other day and the traditions around that. And this morning I came across some quotes from Ram Dass. And if you don't know who he is, strongly recommend you do some listening to him. Sometimes I sit and I kind of channel what's coming through me, what's in the ethers, and bring a little message out before we jump into these harmonizations. And today I thought it'd be nice to just honor Ram Dass. Google's coming out with a movie from Google's Empathy Lab on Ram Dass called Becoming Nobody. It's in select cities. I wish it was in Ostianal or Nosara, where I am right now. So I invite you all to check that out as something unique to watch, something to expand the mind. Ram Dass, very, very unique individual, one of the enlightened teachers of our time, one of many, and he studied a lot of Buddhism, I believe. He definitely spent a lot of time in the Western culture and still had Eastern culture, and had a lot of Western influences as well. So one of these quotes, the first one I'm going to share with you, I'm going to just share it and then we'll maybe talk about it a little bit, because this is something that's applicable. And good morning, Dion. Great to see you. Thank you for chiming in and saying hello. It's that morning time coffee. Yeah, absolutely. So this first quote is very relevant to the holidays. So it goes, everybody is playing with their stories, who they think they are. It's more fun to just witness it all, to be in the environment in which it's all happening. So this is one of those techniques that I refer to even in the harmonization. It comes up is being that observer and just watching what is happening around me rather than becoming identified with it. And when I do this, he's talking about this, to be in the environment in which it's all happening. So watching all these people playing their stories. What are their roles? What is the story that's in their mind? And when I stop and I remove myself from the becoming part of the dialogue or trialogue or quadrilogue, and I just sit back and watch. And I know a lot of you already do this and know this. Just let it be, I guess, a reminder to do in the holidays, because it's coming to the surface. Just to stop and watch what's going on in the conversations rather than being part of the conversation, and really interjecting and just witnessing the different characters and roles people are playing, the different things that people do to get attention, the different things that people do to be either in a victim role or a savior role, the different pieces and stories that people play based on who they think that they are and who one thinks they are, at least in my experience in the Western culture, is a lot of like the characters on TV. So even like when my cat's being a certain way, I'm like, he's acting like a little teenage girl. And I said that this morning. And that story, that character is like one of the girls in Mean Girls or like Saved by the Bell or something that I saw that's represented in the Western culture. This is how you're supposed to behave. And this is in large part impressed upon people, these different characters. And it's really neat to see the different characters that people play, just like watching a movie rather than getting caught up in the story and losing oneself in the story, which is absolutely fine and fantastic to do, so long as I remember that I'm not in the movie and I'm not the movie. And that's the same. Life is a stage, just like it's a real movie. And watching the different characters people play and who's consciously doing certain things, who's the person that's conscious that pushes the buttons, right? There's somebody that is aware they're pushing buttons and they're going to say whatever they can and they're going to just kind of stir the pot a little bit because they like the drama, right? And then there's the people that get caught up in the drama and it's like, oh my God, the world's happening to me. Just watch and see who's playing the roles like that. Because when there's the awareness around who's playing what role, how to interact with that role, how to empathize with that individual, how to really be able to relate to them without having to like go down and be in the suffering. I talk about this quite a bit, the suffering, the compassion, that's literally choosing to join in the suffering. So that would be an example in a story where, two siblings get into an argument in a holiday dinner about something that happened when they were children or something. And one of them is crying and the other one is standing strong. Then it's actually, I just shared a story about this. I won't do it here. It's a little bit long. However, in my family, there was a relationship. When I went to different holiday parties, one of my aunts would argue incessantly with one of the grandparents. And he would say mean things and she would hear them as mean things. He might not have meant them as mean things at all, right? He would just say something that was a little bit off color. She would hear it, didn't want her children to be traumatized, rightfully so. But what ultimately actually ended up happening was she would get so upset about the one sentence that this person said, maybe it was even one word, that she would freak out and start crying, yelling, and screaming. And it would ultimately traumatize her kids. And then I'd watch one of my uncles go and console her about how mean he is. And I'd watch another person in my family or several people tell the gentleman of how bad of a person he was and how mean he was. And he was completely out of awareness that once he would say this, it would put her into that victim role. It would be an opportunity for her to be in that victim role. He might have just said it like no judgment, just like your dress is short. If it was something like that, then she would make it a story about something larger and ultimately be self-fulfilling. Her kids would be traumatized because she'd be freaking out. She'd be sitting in all the attention as the victim, and then she'd make him the bad guy. And these stories would unfold. And I'd watch these as children, like, what is going on? And then as adults, I would start taking sides, who was right and who was wrong. And when I would do that, then I was in the drama and in the story. When I watch it from the outside, I could see, okay, this is her MO. This is how it's going to work. And it's just going to happen. It happens every single year. I could go into different ways of influencing it. And that would be taking off the mask. And this is the second quote I'll share. And this is the best way to, I think, the best way to transcend any kind of disharmony in these relationships and holidays. So here's another quote from Ram Dass. When you take off your mask, it's easier for everyone else to do it. Our culture is so mask-driven. Imagine an office with no mask. So the mask would be the role that I play in those stories, the character I play in those stories. And it's easy as an observer to see the roles and the masks that people are wearing. I have this image about me. It's easy to tell by the clothes people wear a lot of times to say, okay, this is how this is the role I'm going to play. When I'm in a suit, I'm a totally different guy than when I'm in this tank top. I intentionally put on a mask and put on a role for the day, right? So I'm going to be in business meetings. I'm going to do business talk, because if I show up as my true, authentic, just heart-centered self, there may be some reasons why I might not want to do that. People might think, oh, this guy's hippy-dippy. He doesn't know anything, right? I've gotten that. So, and I'm saying in the past, I may choose to put a suit on and be in a different role. And this is the case at all times. The mask is changing constantly. The best way to do this as an observer, seeing all these masks, is just to show up from a heart-centered place without the mask. Just being true, being grateful, being honest with who I am, and always showing up with the love in my heart, even when it's saying something that may be abrasive or direct. And there's ways to do it with Teflon, and there's ways to do it like a jackhammer over someone's head. Whatever you choose. For me, I always choose, what is my heart? What is my heart saying? Like, what is the next word out of my mouth? And just comes through the heart. And sometimes it may send a shockwave, and it may seem disruptive. It may seem painful. It may be challenging to the status quo. However, this is me with no mask. And when I show up with no mask, eventually, some people will just immediately take those off. An easy way to do this is to share some kind of story of pain and overcome, like the hero's journey. Like, oh my God, this year, 2019, I can't believe I was going through all this stuff. And then because of the support of this person, I was able to transcend it. Having stories of that hero's journey, and also recognizing that I still have growth for 2020, I'm really hoping to These kinds of conversations open up so that people take their masks off. So use the words wisely, allow people to pull off their masks by being able to be authentic and show vulnerabilities, and also be able to see the greatness in everyone. So that's my recommendation for making every single day a holy day, and especially here in the holidays. There is a Buddha quote: if you think you're enlightened, go spend the day with your family. So God bless you all. I hope you have an amazing, amazing holiday this year. Great to see you, Natalia and Crystal. Thank you for chiming in here. So we're going to drop into today's harmonization and really churn that heart energy and just look for truth, create space, and pump up this energetic body, so that every single day, and we'll be doing this again tomorrow and Christmas Day, I show up to these events, whatever events are around me. I am in this full observer, mask-free, speaking from my heart, creating the reality that I desire, and knowing that it may take me saying this 2 or 3 times. So my first time saying it without the mask may be very disruptive, right? Because it might be used to me being a certain way. And then I now might say it the second time, and people are like, okay, he said this before, and they might listen a little bit more. And it might be saying it from different angles, or even sharing quotes from Ram Dass or whoever inspires you. You can always just say it so it's somebody else's words, and it doesn't put the attack onto you if this is a new thing for you. So many ways of doing this. So beautiful. Thank you, Pamela. Thank you. Yeah, it's so funny. I was saying to Emily, I'm like, I don't even know what I'm going to talk about this morning. And here, almost 15 minutes later, she's like, what's your sermon going to be about? So hop into And then I looked at her and she's, of course, saying, I don't mean it in a bad way that it's a sermon. I'm like, I guess it is kind of a sermon. So um, it's a one way, right? And thank you for commenting and making it a little bit two way. So hop into a position to just open up that heart, get into a meditative place. If you like to lay down, go for that. If you like to sit up, do that. If you do it on your head, God bless you. I'm excited to see one of you levitate soon doing meditation. And just start rolling the shoulders back and opening. And just before we even get into the breathing aspect of it, breathing's happening regardless. Life's breathing me at all times anyway. And unless I'm consciously choosing to be aware of my breath. Just opening up, maybe bringing the arms out and just checking the body. Like, where is it uneven? Maybe even stretching to the side, pulling the side out a little bit, both sides, and just feeling the body, maybe bringing the hands together like this and bringing them above the head, reaching for the sky, elongating the spine, and just creating some space in this physical body. Just get this thing moving. I've been in a car a lot, so this is for me. It feels good to be home. And just opening up, maybe rolling the neck a few times, bringing life to this spacesuit. It might have been one of Ram Dass quotes that I read about being born and having this spacesuit, this meat body is what I call it, and how easy it is to become identified with this meat body. And the truth is, at that birth moment, I was alive. Before that, life is eternal. I am part of that eternal life. And this spacesuit is just it's a suit that I get to ride through the world of time and space with. So now beginning to breathe in through the nose, filling the belly with breath, with spirit, and then the chest, and then holding at the top, and just noticing how the energy moves throughout the entire body. Just noticing the spirit of the breath moving throughout this physical area, because I'm encapsulating it into the lungs, and the energy moves throughout the veins, and exhaling again. Noticing the energetic current, the electrical current in the body. Some say it's created, this electromagnetic field is created by the beating of the heart. And others say it's what causes the heart to beat. And I believe when they measure it in the lab, the electric current actually happens before the heart beats. It's a cause rather than effect. And this electromagnetic current that's created by this heart can be measured certainly feet away. It's been recorded miles away. So know whatever's emanating from the heart is rippling out into space-time. And the heart has memory cells, actually. Just like the neurons in the brain that hold memory, those same neurons exist in the heart. So tuning into the energy of the heart right now, what is it radiating for me? Feeling if there's any shields up around the heart. I struggled with that for many years. And if there are, it's fine. Love them too. Go beyond those shields and just tune into the center of the heart. The love that lies, that resides. That always exists. Maybe bring the fingertips together. Balancing this electromagnetic field and returning the attention to the heart. Feel free to send some love to my cat from your heart. He's saying hello. And as you expand in this space in the heart, become really aware of it. Notice how it grows itself. And let the love from the heart just begin to permeate any walls that may be up in the heart. This may be anywhere that it's time for me to forgive, release anger, guilt, or shame. All these energies reside. They are part of love. Give them love. Pure divine acceptance, allowance. Each breath, a new moment to give from this infinite well of love that I'm encoding into my heart, knowing that each beat is an expression of love rippling out through space and time. Notice the light of this love in the heart. Expanding beyond the physical body, radiating up and down through the solar plexus and the vocal chakras. Noticing that I've always got the power, always lies within me in this solar plexus, and I've always have the ability to speak the truth. Here in my throat chakra, as the light continues to expand upward and outward into the sacral chakra, into the third eye, like a giant orb. Noticing the sacral chakra gives me all this creativity, the world of limitless possibility, infinite possibility, eternal possibility. Then bringing the attention up to the third eye and noticing how clear the mind is in this moment. And that I can hold attention in my third eye on any one of these possibilities from the sacral. Projecting it out, a world of love, connection, freedom. Feel free to add any words that come to mind. Kindness. And then watching this orb expand again out, filling the root chakra, all the safety and security, completely grounded here in this body, in this plane, connected. My roots running deep, eternally deep. And then coming to the opposite pole, the crown chakra. Connected to the cosmic mind. The electric universe, my spirituality. All that is beyond the physical. And then expanding out again, infinitely, pure love. Taking each breath as an opportunity to express and radiate pure love. Like the sun, like the gods, like the Christ consciousness that I am. knowing that the universe always has my best interest in mind as I am one with the universe. What I send out is always echoed back to me. And I choose to be the love, the truth, the light, the life. Bringing the hands, prayer position in front of the heart, pressing them together, breathing into the belly, into the chest, holding at the top, pressing in, noticing the vibration within, embodying this beautiful vibration of love so that all that I touch, all that I speak is with this pure love in my heart, radiating into all that I see, all that exists. And I invite all to join me, for I am the light, the truth, and the life. Again, invite all to join me in this mantra. I am the light, the truth, and the life. And one more time. Embodying it, speaking these words into existence. I am the light, the truth, and the life. Commit to being this way. The spiritual to the physical. To alchemize all that comes into my awareness into the light, the truth, the life, as love. Dropping the hands down. Just taking one more breath, feeling the energy within, knowing that I can return to this place at any moment by coming back to my breath, in the case I veer off track. This is eternally in me, as me, of me, by me, for me. Gently opening the eyes, rubbing the hands together, feeling some friction, creating some heat, just feeling how quickly this vibration of love just transmutes, just like friction and heat, just giving it the attention. It's always there. So coming back into the body, thanking this body. Thank you all. Thank you all for being on today. So grateful to have everyone here. I'll be back tomorrow, 7:30. If you have anything in mind, anything requests, any thoughts, any ideas, questions, feel free to drop them in the comments or send me a message, and we'll talk about them in future mornings. God bless you. Have an amazing, amazing, amazing day, and may the light shine upon you. Have a great day. Ciao.